Hi everyone, I'm Tandy Gutierrez and welcome to your monthly new moon tarot reading with me. If you want to go more in depth into this new moon, you can join me on Facebook March 17th at 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we spend an hour and a half to go through what the basics of this new moon really are. It's at 26 degrees of Pisces, so there's a lot to it as we close out the astrological new year, and I think this is one you should really join us for over on Facebook. So it's Facebook at Matt and Kitchen that you'll find us. It's a live, ritual there, and we talk through each of the houses, the significance of the 26 degrees of Pisces, of where it sits, how it could affect you because of where it sits in your chart. I do single card tarot pulls there, so if you have a question, it's a great place to ask it if you're not ready to book a private reading with me yet. And then we close it out with a 10-minute meditation. So if you would like to join us this month, I would love to have you on Facebook at Matt and Kitchen, March 17th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for an hour and a half. Okay, so here we go. So this is our last new moon of the astrological new year, which is significant. So the little bitty bits that I'll give you here today as we go into our reading is that Pisces is the last piece of the pie in the astrological chart. So our new year astrologically is March 20th. I think that's the date that it is. It's a Tuesday, March 20th. This is spring equinox. So this is a huge time of cleansing and clearing, and like any problem you didn't really take care of, it is going to rear its head and give you an opportunity to kind of suss it out and sweep it out before the new year begins. So if you've been with me consistently, you know January is not the real new year. That's kind of an imposed Gregorian calendar piece of our world that we have to work with. Okay, but the astrological new year is the first day of spring and is spring. So we're still closing out winter, and regardless of where in the world you are, it's still a time of contemplation, of evaluation, of reevaluation, a lot of meditation so that you know how you feel about things. For insights and messaging, Pisces is the most psychic of the signs because of its empathy, because of its wateriness. So this could be an incredibly powerful new moon for clarity for you, because then we head into Aries, and Aries is like, I go, I want, I am, I'm the warrior, I'm gonna go for it. So when we head into April in particular, it's go time. So it's like, here we go. Now we're going to go do things because we've thought about them and we've had this time to reflect on things, okay? So here we go. 7-card reading. I'll lay them out. I'll show them to you as we go. It is not playing around, to tell you that much, okay? Interesting. I love it. I love it. I always love it because you just never know how it's going to play out. So this is a general reading for anyone who's watching, because if you stumbled on this video, there's no such thing as coincidence, right? There's serendipity, and there's something here for you to see. There's something here for you to hear. There's something for you to understand that adds to your life, that allows you awareness and insight. And if you're like, I don't really know, it's not really pertaining to me, pass it along to a friend. That may be why you're here. You may be here to help with somebody else's serendipity and messaging, okay? So the overall energy of this new moon, I love it. Y'all, I know one person in particular who's gonna go, who watches these all the time. The Tower. Okay, so the Tower, a lot of people go, oh, I do not want to see that one. I love it, but I love change. Okay, the Tower means that things that have been built, structures in place, methods of doing things, it is structural, right? Like the way you go about things no longer work. You have to change what you're doing. The Tower card, in its like imbalance, if you're not on a path of really being aware and trying to be informed and connected with divinity and really navigating with your intuition and with your highest self at the front, driving the car, the Tower can be ugly. It can be big blowups. It can be giant dismantlings. It can be a lost job. It could be a relationship that falls apart. Or if you're on the path and you go, I'm listening, I'm following the intuition, I'm willing to make changes. I'm willing to go about things in a different way. I can think creatively about this. What can I work with? The Tower card can then be a little soft and very, very proactive. The Tower card can be like, you know what? I'm not going to call it that anymore. I'm going to change the name of something, a business, or I don't want to live there anymore because that place is not functioning for me anymore in any way, shape, or form. I'm actively going to look for a new job because the one that I'm in doesn't support my highest and greatest good anymore. It doesn't allow me to grow and to evolve. So the Tower, is 16, so it's kind of, it's a teenager, it's a little sassy, it's a little emotional and a little rocky, it's not old and wise yet. But 6 + 1 is a 7. 7 is what I call the self-help number, and people think it's lucky number 7, but 7 is when preparation meets timing. Right? Sometimes it's just time for a change. Sometimes it's time for old ways to be gone and over with. This one in this deck is a little like, struck by lightning kind of divinity thing. But always embrace the positive aspects of a card. Always embrace your freedom of choice to make decisions, and always embrace your capacity to assist change and evolution in love. Right? So regardless of what the cards look like how much love can you bring to the process of change? The towers, the towers and the walls that you've built up around yourself, have you been hiding away and been super introverted in winter in the Northern Hemisphere? Have you really blocked people off because you were working on yourself? It's okay to be the hermit. It's good at times to keep to yourself and do your own healing and your own work. But this is a call out that it's time to dismantle that. You gotta get out of the tower. It's gonna burn down around you kind of thing if you don't. So be proactive. This is a time of great change. That's what it means. And through the rest of the cards here, they're really beautiful. So that's fascinating. So this new moon offers up big changes in the structures that you've built, meaning the things that you've agreed to, the ways in which you typically do something. It's time to look at those ways and go, something's got to change in these places or the whole thing's gonna fall down. That's really more of the perspective to take of if I don't listen to my intuition, if I don't make changes. Because remember, the universe will whisper, it'll talk to you, then it'll yell, and then it'll start breaking fucking dishes in your kitchen, right? It'll start to explode. If you are not heeding the call of your intuition, of the path that you are supposed to be following, and of highest and greatest good, then the universe will do what I call box you out. There'll be a no at every corner. And then you're like, okay, I got no place to go now because all the things I were trying have not worked. There's always a door. There's always a window, right? And so what happens is if we're not getting clear, or we're not fully bringing our messaging to fruition, then it does box us out, right? But then it boxes us and we feel like we're boxed into a corner, but there's a doorway through. There's always at least one option. So when you start to feel boxed out, and you feel like, God, nothing's working, then you have to look at the option that you do have that you've either ignored because you don't want to do it, or the one you just didn't think was going to be the most powerful option. And it's like, maybe it was. I heard something, it was Gregory Scott. I love his readings. He's on YouTube and you can check him out too. He said something a week ago that I thought so true, is that your divine messaging, the highest and greatest good, is always the softest and the quietest thing that keeps coming up. So repetition, like I talk about the crossover truths in any topic, that there is truth. Everybody's truth is slightly different, right? But there are real truths. And that when you look even in topics like between science and wellness or literature and history, there are crossover truths. The crossover truths are the truth. And so look at the things that are consistently true in your life and that are really soft, that keep coming up. They just kind of gently keep poking. Those are the things that are probably your doorway or the window that's being left open if you feel boxed out of everything else. Okay? So what to leave behind in this new moon. So new moons are about fresh starts and new beginnings and planting seeds to come to fruition, right? This is about like new beginnings. Well, I find this fascinating, and so like, yeah, of course, what to leave behind? Death. And death is the winter card. So this is the card of winter, because winter is about dying off. It's about hunkering down. It's about creating soil and letting things decompose to make beautiful soil for the spring. So, 13, 3 and a 1 is 4. 4 is about persistence, and it's about longevity, and it's about bringing things to fruition in the long term. So I love this. It's pretty simple. Like, things are changing. Things could change in a big way. You got to make some changes because spring is coming, and you got to leave behind all of the icky, down, low, what was broken, what wasn't working. You got to let it go. And so at its very simplest, just leave winter behind. Winter did its thing. Things died off. Things imploded. Things got buried deep. Things went away and they got cleansed and cleared out with and in Pisces. Now here we go. And then what to receive? It's almost literal here. So you have death. Death, something has to die in order for something new to be reborn. There's a very common thing that happens that, family member passes and then immediately somebody finds out that they're pregnant. That's like the universe hates a vacuum. When something leaves, then something new can come. And so death is about things dying off and ending and finishing in their natural cycle and placement. And so then you have what to receive is the One of Wands. And look how fertile this one is. And sunflowers are abundance. They are blooming abundance. And Wands is about your bravery and courageousness, right? Kind of striking out and doing and taking a risk, right? And it's kind of this like one great idea, or one idea you've had for a long time, but you didn't pull the trigger on it, or you pulled the trigger on it and it was like in the wrong timing, because you can never account for timing, right? So this is about receiving. One of Wands can also be like an idea given to you by the universe. Dun, da, da, da. And then are you brave enough to act on it? Like, do you think it's crazy cuckoo pants, or is it just like this burning desire in you? It's showing that idea that was given to you, and I say given to you because it's like this like strike of creativity. Like, I don't know, it just wandered into my brain. I had a dream about it. I don't know. I was reading this book and this phrase caught me and I wrote it down. I stuck it on a Post-it and I've carried it around in my wallet for 5 years. This is what messaging looks like. This is what signs, symbols, and omens looks like. Things that catch your attention, that resonate in your gut, that stay with you. So this is about being brave and acting on these ideas. I don't know that this is an idea that comes instantaneously in this new moon. It might. I have more of a feeling that it's the quiet thing you've been carrying around for a long time, that it's finally time to do something about it, and that it will reap rewards and be abundant. And this is a lot to do with financial rewards, but it's about being brave and being diligent and it's just more about brave, like stepping out and just doing it. Then what to learn? You have a 1. So we have a 1 and another 1. And 1 is like new beginnings. Let's start again. Something fresh is happening. 2 1s right off of the death, right? Something has to die in order to something new to come in. So what to learn with this new moon? To learn in this new moon that the cup, the Holy Grail, is you. It's always overflowing with divinity. It's about that surrender to it. It's about willing to let it flow through you. It's about willing to have faith in it. I always say that, One of Cups is that it's your faith in miracles, right? That you have to believe that miracles are totally real for everyone, including you. They can't, it's universal law. They can't be for some people and not for others. They're for everyone. So you're learning this month that it does come through, that divine timing is a biatch sometimes, and that you just have to wait and be diligent and keep working and keep striving. And then I get the sense that it's like somebody turned the spigot on, like somebody, it's almost like somebody pulls it like on a tap, like on a beer tap, and then it's like, then the thing breaks and it's just gushing out. So you're learning this month how to tap in to the flow of divinity, but understanding that your cup is always overflowing if you know how to connect. That connection typically comes in meditation, right? Prayer is when you're talking to God, and meditation is when you're allowing God to talk to you. So it has to go both ways, but the most powerful and important one is allowing it to come to and through you. So if you're getting ideas that are coming to you and through you, because we're all just the messengers, right? And you're not activating on them, you're stopping the flow. But if you push that messaging through and allow it to flow through you and get brave about what these ideas are and what you'd like to do in the world and how you'd like to show up, that it's always supported, then you're always abundant because you're a divine child of God. What to give? Now, I think this one's interesting because it's come up a lot, especially in the private readings. Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a sassy little card, especially in this deck. So again, you have another 7, right? We have the Tower that boils down to a 7 in numerology of the luck or the self-help number of preparation meeting timing. This person, so this is about giving in this new moon. I feel like it's like you still have to give this final stance. It's almost like you got to hold your ground just for a little bit longer before the flow. It's funny because, you work the way through a certain, direction in the deck, but it makes more sense to read it backwards once we're done with it. That you have a bit of a final stance. You have to... Okay, pardon the language today. You have to give a shit. Like, you have to give your, final, y'all just back off. Like, you gotta back off. Like, you have to stand for something. So you have to give your perspective almost. And it doesn't mean that it needs to be aggressive. You just need to be clear and stand your ground about it. Like, nope, this is what we're doing. This is what I'm doing. You guys can stand over there and fight me, or you can drop your wands and walk away, or you can cross the chasm and come stand with me. There are choices, but you're not going to throw in, your staff, and you're certainly not going to walk away. You need to stand strong in what you believe in. So 7 of Wands is kind of a testament. It's not a testament of will. It's like a standing up for what you believe in, just holding tight in there and go, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I don't need to convert the masses. I don't need you to believe the same thing, but this is what I believe, and I'm just going to stand right here and protect it. So it's giving, it's almost like giving your full voice, giving your energy to protecting what you believe in. What is your heart's desire in this new moon? So heart's desire is Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is about winning at all costs. So that you may very well have something very clear, eye on the prize, that you want. But it's long term, it's bigger. It's bigger than just this new moon. Be clear about that. The big things may take a lot of new moons. It may take a lifetime of new moons before they come to fruition. But your commitment to seeing them come to fruition, your heart's desire. Knight of Swords is he always wins. It may be a little messy. It's not always straightforward, but man, he is skilled. He's not a master of it, and so it is a little wonky. It's like rough wins, but they get what they want. So that's your heart's desire, is a win at all costs. And not meaning that you take everybody down with you, but don't give up. Rocky wins, low on rations, you've lost your sword in the fight. You keep going. It's really, your heart's desire is to win. It's also about being heard, because swords are about your intellect, your acumen, and your words. So sometimes it can be about writing, but it's about being heard. I need people to hear me. I'm spreading the message. I'm fighting the fight. I'm going to keep going. It can be a little erratic, it can be a little intense, but heading into areas that make some sense. So this is about what the new moon has to offer us, what we have to learn from it, what we have to gain and understand in this new moon messaging. And our heart's desire is to win at all costs. We're willing to do the work. We're willing to put ourselves in harm's way. We're willing to do the hard stuff. We're willing to stand our ground. We're willing to surrender to divinity and to trust. And we're willing to implement these things and be brave and courageous about our creative endeavors and the things that we love the most and the things we want to see brought to fruition into the world. And we're willing to let old stuff just die. What good's it going to do is keep dragging it around. Assets to the situation. I almost feel like this is an outcome to it. But assets to the situation is a Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a celebration, meaning like it happened. So like this wily knight that went out into the world and had his, his or her, focus on something, they came back victorious and everybody supported it. The assets to the situation are is you have a community that loves you, that really rallies around you, that says, woo, when you come home from the battle, that you have people who love and support you and that it'll come out well. So that's a beautiful reading. A little intense, but beautiful. So there you go. If you're listening to this before the new moon, great. Gives you a perspective of what to anticipate and kind of what to work through. I also suggest that towards the end of this new moon in 2 weeks, come back and watch it again, right? To go, okay, how did that really play out and how does that translate in my life? If you are watching this for, the very first time or you're not yet a subscriber of mattinkitchen.com, please try out the site. If you want to come train with me, use the promo code at checkout, Tarot, T-A-R-O-T, all capital letters, 18, and that will zero out your cart for 30 days free on the site. So give it a whirl, because what I do is I take these energies and these readings and use them when I'm crafting your workouts, your 30-minute workouts on the mat, and allowing those workouts to, yes, be for your physical body, but also for the energetic body, and also to help balance the collective energies that we're working with, as well as give root and grounding to your intentions so manifestations come stronger, faster, better into your life, okay? If you're not ready to take a chance on training with me on mattinkitchen.com, that's okay. If you want to take the leap to get my newsletter, you go over to tandygutierrez.com. Little light box shows up, put your email in, you'll get my monthly newsletter that has the new and the full moon readings, a card of the month, some questions to work through on a self-awareness scale, and it also talks about our workouts and essential oils and crystals every month. Then we now have the Unicorn Wellness Handbook, my book that I just wrote. So again, if you're kind of like, what is she really all about? There's movement, there's cards, there's food, there's like everything. Yeah, it's your wellness home here. So now you can get the Unicorn Wellness Handbook on Amazon and just read it in the comfort of your own home. It's really short and quick and sweet and kind of gives you the overview of how and what I do. And that way you can see, maybe I am interested in becoming a member, but you are always welcome to watch these new full and monthly and the guided meditations for free every month here. Okay, so we have membership on the site to train with me. We've got the handbook, the newsletter, or if you want to book a private tarot reading with me, it's over at tandygutierrez.com. So I love you very much. Happy new moon blessings, and I will see you next time.